talking about news and opinions from DC to OKC. We're Oklahoma's talk radio. The new Freedom 96.9. Freedom969.com and on the Freedom app. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will bring sunny and toasty weather with a high of 103. Tonight, expect breezy conditions in the evening, otherwise clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow will be sunny, breezy, and hot with a high of 101. As we head into Monday, anticipate mostly sunny skies with a breeze and temperatures reaching 102 degrees. Tuesday will be a mix of sun and clouds, staying breezy and hot with a high of 101. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
Broadcasting live from the command center of Freedom 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Also here is Hague Certified Wind and Commercial Roofing Inspector and birthday boy, Scotty McCullum.
Tomorrow.
Close enough.
Good morning.
Retro Radio Randy is back on probation again this week. Don't ask. But you can talk to him when you call 405-608-4377. We're live streaming today on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel, and we're streaming the audio, as always, on freedom969.com. We'll start, as usual, with other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week, the phone number to answer the trivia question or to just ask one, 405-608-4377. Later, we'll hear Scotty's view from the rooftop, this week called Patience Pays. And we'll have some surviving the storm tips brought to you by Roof RX, and we'll wrap up with Dad's wisdom. Coming back from breaks, some of the most obscure historical trivia you've ever encountered.
I'm sure of that.
Well, hey, guys, I had an annual medical exam this week, and the young assistant took my vitals, and as she was confirming details in the computer, she looked hard at the screen and said, "It says here to say, remember that S&CM LLC doing business as McRoof.us legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 800000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing." What's that about? And I had to say, well, my client's attorney has hacked my medical records.
Oh, my gosh. Man.
Oh, well, so
One of these days he'll run out of ideas, I think.
I look at my calendar. What did I do this past week? All right, guys, so let's get into our trivia question, shall we?
All right, so here we go. In what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm?
$1 billion.
Billion with a B. Was it A, Minnesota, B, Illinois, C, Colorado, or D, Texas?
If you think you know the answer to that question, give us a call, 405-608-4377. The winner will get their choice of books, either Raving Fans or Unreasonable Hospitality, or 2 free tickets to see Carpenter Square Theater's production of King James that opens on September 11th, runs for 3 weeks. It's a story of a couple of guys in Cleveland bonding over their love of a certain NBA star who is about to come to town, and follows that 12-year period when King James was a resident and a player for the Cavs. Anyway, the question again, in what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? A, Minnesota, B, Illinois, C, Colorado, or D, Texas? 405-608-4377.
Those are some good options. If I didn't already know, I would have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's
All over the place.
yeah, all over. And I was surprised that Oklahoma wasn't on that list. Of course, well, never mind. Make a crude joke there. How many shanties does it take to add up to $1 billion?
Oh my gosh, that was not a very nice
Not a
way
nice
to say
joke
that,
about
Rick.
Oklahoma.
It really wasn't. But Scotty was asking me that question. You know, we were talking about that too. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So 405
Specifically, concentration and dollar value of structures
Exactly.
in
Right.
a certain geographical area.
Exactly. 405-608-4377. Which state had the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado, or Texas? All right, Scotty, our word of the week.
That is continuum.
Continuum.
Continuum is a coherent whole characterized as a collection, sequence, or progression of values or elements varying by minute degrees. Minute degrees. I should rephrase. Yeah.
Reading it for
Retract
the
that
first
one.
time.
Minute. Reading it for the first time, as we were discussing before this show. I will summarize.
Yes, please do, and
In a
give us an
continuum,
example.
a continuum would be an example. I'll just put it this way.
Give them the Roof
roofing,
RX example.
Yeah, in roofing or property restoration.
Okay.
Scott and I over breakfast talked about the continuum in the restoration segment of the market, which deals with putting things back together the way that they've always been done.
Okay.
A roof specifically would be one example. Putting the same grade of shingle, no additional enhancements, no
Right.
ventilation considerations.
The whirlybirds back up on top.
Exactly.
With the plastic bags.
Yeah.
Say skip over the clean deck tear off,
Right.
cover up the old
Yeah.
rotted decking, and
Yeah.
put an extra layer of underlayment on it to make sure that everything is really,
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah.
That's putting things back together as they usually are on a rooftop,
Yeah.
on an insurance claim, or any roof replacement. And that continuum, that segment of a sequence of events leads to the next being that roof will potentially
again.
fail prematurely,
Right.
fail before it should.
Yeah.
Whether that's because of leaks, whether that's because of wind blow-offs, whether that's because of premature hail damage on that roof. And then the customer is right back in the same position, and they have a decision every time that they have to make. Do I do it just like I did before, or do I do it a little better?
Right.
A lot of people don't even consider the option to do something a little better than what they did last time.
Right.
So that's where the continuum repeats itself.
So here's in the Roof RX world, Roof RX continuum looks like this. Roof RX continuum starts out with an inspection, a data set, all right, that tells you what the truth on the roof is.
Yeah.
Gives you this documented condition of that roof and prescribes for you a path forward. In the process of prescribing that path forward, maybe that's repairs, maybe that's maintenance, maybe that's replace. But in that process, in Roof RX continuum, you're being educated about resilience. You're being educated about building back better. You're being educated about IBHS Fortified. You're being educated about SBS Flex technology, asphalt shingles. You're being educated about better, all right? And the reason you're being educated about better is because better is going to break the continuum that Scotty was talking about of simply replacing what has already failed you over and over and over again.
Right.
We want our continuum in Roof RX to be much different. We want that to be a continuum where everyone is being educated about resilience. Everyone is getting something better that is going to perform to save lives, protect property, reduce risk. and the whole ecosystem wins. That's what the Roof RX continuum is. So we'll walk you from that trust document, that prescription, into your maintenance, repairs, or ultimate replacement. But we're going to be educating you along the way of what you can do to not be in the same boat the next time a hailstorm rolls through your town.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And it's about getting into this continuum. And once you have that new replacement roof, that built better roof, that McRoof or whatever it is, once you have that, it's going to continually be inspected and maintained and repaired as needed to ultimately achieve that maximum lifetime, which we believe now SBS Flex technology, Northgate or Landmark Climate Flex by Certainty that McRoof installs, I think you're looking at a 30, 35-year window, even in our severe hail zone here in Oklahoma. So that roof needs to be maintained. You can't put it on and forget about it for 30 or 35 years, or you're not going to get that out of it.
Right.
That's what the continuum is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm imagining a Venn diagram. You know, the two overlapping circles.
Yeah.
The end of one circle, if you take a certain point, just bring it full circle all the way back, is the beginning of a new circle. Can be. That's the the optional thing right there. Is if you want it to be better, you can make it better. If you don't want to have to replace your roof again, or if you don't want your house to be home or business to be subjected to further damage down the road and incur another deductible, go through the hassle of replacing a roof and all that comes with that, you can choose to branch off and make your own, make a new circle. Or you can do what most people do and just keep running the hamster wheel.
Well, and that's the thing we talked about is we have to change the mindsets. We have to change the attitudes. The idea of, number one, it's just a roof, and number two, the insurance company's going to pay for it anyway.
Right.
That ship has sailed, and everyone understands that your financial participation in the replacement of any roof going forward is going to be greater and greater and greater every day that goes by. You need to build better.
Yep. All right. With that, we'll take our first break. Reminder, our trivia question is still out there. In what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado, or Texas? Give us a call, 405-608-4377. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9.
Every property owner knows the pain of rising insurance costs, higher premiums, higher deductibles, and more exclusions than ever before. You may have even received a non-renewal notice or a letter stating your roof no longer meets our underwriting requirements and your policy will be canceled in 30 days. You don't know the condition of your roof, you're not a roofer, but neither does the underwriter, and they're making decisions that affect your coverage. Roof RX brings clarity to where uncertainty once lived. We're not roofers looking for work. We're certified inspectors dedicated to truth and transparency. We combine state-of-the-art imaging with generations of roofing expertise to reveal the true condition of your roof and maximize its remaining life. We turn complex data into a clear prescription: what can be maintained, what needs repaired, and what needs replaced. We perform and document that work for you and your insurance carrier and provide the peace of mind of lifetime workmanship warranties and money-back guarantees. It's not about replacing roofs. It's about helping you understand the true condition of your roof, mitigate your risk, and protect your insurability. Roof RX, the prescription for your ailing roof.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air on Freedom 96.9 on this date of August the 8th, 1609. Galileo presented his telescope to the Venetian Senate in Venice. That seems a little redundant, but to the Senate in Venice, Galileo showed his telescope. Now, getting back to American history, which is what I prefer to do here, on this date in 1786, U.S. Congress unanimously chose the dollar as the monetary unit for the U.S.
Hmm.
As opposed to, what the Brits were using.
Hmm.
Farthings and shillings and,
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Pounds and stuff like
tuppence and-
that. Yeah.
And then on this date in 1863, during the American Civil War, the Tennessee Governor Andrew Johnson freed all of his personal slaves. Tennessee governor in the middle of the Civil War freed his slaves. Okay, our trivia question is still out there, and we have Dan on the line. So, Dan, you want to take a shot at it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you tell us, in what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado, or Texas?
I'm guessing on Texas.
Oh,
Ooh,
is that right?
That is a good guess in a lot of years, Dan, but not this time around.
Keep listening. We'll reveal the answer forthwith.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks,
do you
Dan.
have
Thanks
do you
for
have a-
being there.
Do you have a question for the guys?
think he already
I
went.
guess
I
he's
think
gone.
already-
All right.
think
So
he's already gone. So okay. So now we've narrowed it down. We know that it is not Texas.
Yep.
So
it's Minnesota, Illinois, or Colorado.
there you go.
All right, Scott, what'd you do this past week?
Oh man, we had a pretty busy week. We had a lot of stuff going on as far as Roof RX goes. I'm doing a lot of assessor work right now.
Okay.
Which is kind of that final level of interpreting all that data and determining what that prescription is going to look like. Had some roofs in Illinois, had some roofs in North Carolina, and some stuff from Florida this week to look at. So, and some stuff here locally as well. So
Good.
busy on that end. And then other than that, I'm trying to think. I don't know, Scotty, what was your week like?
He doesn't do much these days on the rooftops. So
Yeah, well, good.
he's got to exercise that noggin.
Yeah.
Something that I don't do enough. But I guess maybe I'll be there one day.
It was one summer in college. I worked for a couple of weeks on a roofing crew, and I thought, I think I'd rather make my living with my brain than my back.
Well, and we've talked about this.
It was brutal this week.
I'll bet. I saw a roofing crew on, honest to goodness, 104 degrees. I saw the roofing crew. I looked at the temperature on the thermometer on my clock, 104.
I'll guarantee you it's 60 degrees, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least 60 degrees higher on the rooftop.
Yeah.
If it's an asphalt-based roof.
And this was.
And last week, that was our trivia question, Scotty, what was the temperature range? 104 degrees, ambient air temperature, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What's the temperature on that asphalt shingle roof?
I mean, I don't know because I've never brought a
guess.
thermometer, but
Well,
I've got
guess.
an internal thermometer, and I know I'm starting to cook at that point.
And the answer was 161 to 181 or something like that.
yeah.
So, yep.
So.
Yep. Hot.
Yikes.
So
Yes.
we've talked about this. McRoof has not been building very many roofs at all. We, in fact, built
Because of the heat.
We
Right.
built a roof this week because, we need a little bit of production. I mean, we're getting further and further behind.
Yeah.
And the crew hasn't been doing a whole lot of work. So we built a roof this week, and lo and behold, it's exactly what I tell people all the time. There were two aspects of that roof that we couldn't execute. Number one, there are some dormers on that roof that have modified bitumen on them.
Okay.
And we could not do the mod bit in those kinds of conditions because we literally would have been marring it up, scuffing it up. It would have looked like, anyway, would not have been the kind of job that we want. That's number one. The second thing we couldn't do is when we were done with the roof, we could not do what we call our punch out, which includes replacing marred shingles. Okay, shingles that are damaged by foot traffic, tools, things like that. Because for every shingle we would replace, we would be tearing up 3 or 4 others in the process.
Right.
So that is, and explained to our client, lovely gentleman explained that we will come back when the temperatures moderate to do those 2 little mod bit dormers and to do the marred shingle replacements. Actually had a couple young men. One of the things we noticed, this is stuff that we talk about all the time that we do that we don't believe very many other folks do. I noticed in the photographs, when Jesse started sending me photographs, I noticed that a furnace vent did not meet the building code. Well, we already replaced the base flashings, the storm collars, and the caps on our vents, okay? Because that's roofing building code, all right? But the idea of that vent not meeting the building code, the gentleman has ordinance or law coverage, that has to, I can't touch it and then have it not meet the building code.
Right.
So we called the air conditioning contractor out. Two kids came out, nice kids, knew what they were doing, did a great job, did not understand that they're just standing there on that roof, on those asphalt shingles in those temperatures, that their tennis shoes would be just tearing up those shingles, okay? So all around that vent that they came, they extended the pipe up. The pipe has to be 3 feet above everything that's within 10 feet of it. They extended the pipe up to meet the building code, and when they gathered up their tools and started to walk off the roof, they're going, uh-oh, what did we do? And Jesse told them, hey, don't worry about it. We knew that would happen. We'll take care of it when we punch out the roof. So again, this deal about building code things, building code for a roofer is more than just Chapter 9 of the International Residential Code, or I believe 15 of the International Building Code. It moves over into other chapters where there are things that a roofer will encounter in the process of replacing roof. That's going to be ventilation is going to be found in a different chapter. Some of the flashing and structural details are going to be found in different places. So there's more to it than just what the roofing chapter itself says. And this is the place where we say that I can almost say that there is no such thing as a code compliant roof being built in Oklahoma, all right, with the possible exception of a roof that we are building.
That's a pretty bald statement.
Look, if you're not replacing all the flashings,
Right.
you didn't meet the building code.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
If you're not running ice and water everywhere you're supposed to run ice and water, you're not meeting the building code. If you're attaching underlayments with staples, you're probably not meeting the building code. If you're using a drip edge that is not 26 gauge steel,
Or
you're not
2-inch exposure on the face
the
of the
roof,
drip edge.
or 2-inch exposure on the decking, you're not meeting the building code.
And you've told me before that the supplier even sells flash or drip edge that is not code compliant.
Of course they do. And when I ask the questions of manufacturers, when I ask the questions of suppliers, the answer is always the same. Our customers want cheap. In other words, distribution, the big companies where all the roofers buy everything, our customers want cheap. Our customers meaning the roofers. When you ask manufacturers why they manufacture crap that does not meet the building code, they say, because our customers want cheap, because their customers want cheap.
Well, looking
Okay.
ahead at our show rundown here, the dad's wisdom comes to mind. So folks stick around to the end of the show, and
And we'll tie it up with a bow.
That's right. We sure will.
So how much time we have before break?
1 minute.
Oh no, we're not gonna touch this. So we'll leave this one where it is. So
You didn't ask what I did this week. You did, but
Tell
I
us.
forgot to answer.
Tell
well,
us.
we got sidetracked. Not much, really. Not much. You know me.
That's not true. That's not true.
I like to take it easy this time of year.
Sure,
and,
right.
yeah.
I'm
not much to
gonna
say.
tell you that Scotty and Johnny, as I just mentioned, this backlog that we have.
Yeah.
Scotty and Johnny have really piled on the backlog in the last 2 weeks.
Good. Job security.
So don't let him tell you he hasn't been doing anything.
Okay, we have to take a break here. Our trivia question is still out there. In what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, or Colorado? It's McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 969. Our number 405-608-4377.
Hear the latest news and trending information that impacts your world on the new Freedom 96.9, freedom969.com, and on the Freedom app, Oklahoma's talk radio. Freedom
Weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. Today will bring sunny and toasty weather with a high of 103. Tonight, expect breezy conditions in the evening, otherwise clear with a low of 73. Tomorrow will be sunny, breezy, and hot with a high of 101. As we head into Monday, anticipate mostly sunny skies with a breeze and temperatures reaching 102 degrees. Tuesday will be a mix of sun and clouds, staying breezy and hot with a high of 101. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station. The new Freedom 96.9, Oklahoma's talk radio.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the second half of this morning's live call-in show. On this date of August 8th, 1876, Thomas Edison was granted the patent for the autographic printing, also known as the electric pen. No idea what that is. I wonder if that was the like the auto pen. Anyway, on this date in 1910, the U.S. Army installed the first tricycle landing gear on the Army's Wright Flyer. That's pretty obscure. And then on this date in 1945, President Harry Truman
Henry Truman
signed the United Nations Charter. Okay.
All right.
Our trivia question is still out there. In what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, or Colorado? If you think you know the answer, 405-608-4377. The winner gets their choice of books or some theater tickets. Live performance theater, not movie theater. You're going to have to pay your own way to see Odyssey.
So, Scotty, I want to ask you a question, and this may lead into your view,
Okay.
or it may not. But I want to talk a little bit about the idea of manufacturer's defects versus a a valid storm-related insurance claim. I want to talk about that a little bit. So,
Okay.
I believe that there are a lot of times when people file an insurance claim that rightfully should be a manufacturer's warranty claim. And I'm
Okay.
thinking specifically about wind-related damage.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I see quite a few times where, quite a few occurrences where I would agree that has been the case, where people have made a claim with their insurance company first, where it should have probably started with a manufacturer's warranty claim for product defect or potential product defect.
So if you've got go ahead.
I also see some cases, and I'm working on one specifically right now, that I think there are valid, not I think, there are valid reasons that both should be in play.
Interesting.
That is a little uncommon. I say uncommon. It's less common than just seeing damage from one event, which would be a storm. I say one event specifically.
One occurrence.
Storm occurrence.
One occurrence.
Which would be an insurance-related matter, or having a compounded series of damage that is a result of a manufacturer's defect or any kind of substandard condition derived from the manufacturing process, or even the installation of the roof in some cases, and that's a whole separate. That's a whole separate topic, and we can't get into that today.
I don't even want to go there.
But it is a very good topic, and I think it would be very informational for people in a future show.
Well,
maybe next week we'll follow up with that.
It absolutely is, and in fact, Scotty, maybe we should do that. Manufacturer's defect claim versus contractor workmanship claim. You're absolutely right, but let's stay where we were. Let's stay with manufacturer's defect versus insurance.
Well, I'll just remind people what an insurance claim is for. Insurance is in place to cover a sudden and direct physical loss to your property. Sudden, direct, and accidental physical loss to your property. So that is one point in time, 1 minute, one series of minutes where hail fell on your house, where say a windstorm came through and blew off a portion of your roof or your siding or anything else for that matter. And that's sudden, direct, accidental physical loss. So remember that. Usually when a manufacturer's defect is being considered or being assessed, that damage might occur all at the same time, but usually it's a shingle here, a shingle there. The next week, a shingle here, a shingle there. The next month, a shingle here, a shingle there, a few shingles.
A pattern.
It's just a compounding series of small damages.
And in some cases, that pattern of failure has occurred over years.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Has occurred over years. Yep. And I think where I want to come from on this is, number one, what I have been told by my territory rep and by the manufacturers is that the second time that we get a call to go out to a roof for a wind repair that is a roof that we have installed, that we're confident in the way that it was installed, that at that point in time that it should immediately become a manufacturer's claim. In other words, I as a contractor should not continue, and this is my failing, in the way that we like to take care of our clients. I as a contractor should not year after year after year be going out and doing wind repairs.
Or every few years.
Yeah. On these roofs. We should elevate that to the point of a manufacturer's claim. Okay? If you have a wind warranty, the shingles that we install, the lowest warranty that applies to the shingles that we install is
110 miles an hour.
okay, I'm not going to contradict him, but
It's 110 miles an hour from Certainty on their standard non-enhanced wind warranty. Non-enhanced wind
that is
warranty.
correct. Our warranties are 130 miles an hour. So if McRoof is installing a Certainteed product, our minimum warranty is 130 miles an hour, and some of the products are at 150. So here's the deal. If you're sitting there and you're missing 150, 200 shingles throughout the space of your roof, and we go and do a weather forensics and we pull it, and it says that the highest sustained winds at your location were less than those thresholds, then that should not be an insurance claim. It should be a manufacturer's warranty claim because the product did not perform to that warranty standard. You see what I'm saying?
I
so,
do now.
So what I'm saying
Yeah, I mean, you've
is,
got to put a number on it, and manufacturers have to publish what their wind warranty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not so sure that they have to, but all of the ones that I'm aware of, I mean, regulatorily speaking, if that's even a word, I think they have to publish their minimum wind warranties.
So here's the deal. I see insurance carriers paying claims that they shouldn't be paying. All right? So here we talk about all the things that contribute to the problems, all the things that contribute to the issues that we have in that insurance space with the pricing and the big deductibles and the claims histories and everything else. And here's a situation where carriers are simply paying for something that they should not be paying for. You'll see exactly the same conversation in a different, same song, different verse next week when, thanks to Scotty, we're going to talk next week about manufacturers' warranty claim versus contractor workmanship claim. You're going to see exactly the same thing. And I've told Certainty this. You're paying for roofs that you should not be paying for because the contractor did not do his job as required.
Ooh.
All right. So it's kind of, but anyway, if you've got a manufacturer's defect, if you've had situations that occur over and over and over again, chances are pretty good that could be a manufacturer's warranty claim versus an insurance claim. What difference would that make to you as a consumer? To you as a consumer, if you file an insurance claim, what do you know you're going to pay?
A deductible.
A deductible and any other out-of-pocket expense
Right.
for things that are not included in your insurance contract to bring your roof up to the code. Okay, if you file a manufacturer's workmanship claim, manufacturer's defect claim,
then they cover it all.
Well,
depends
on the terms of the warranty because it depends on the manufacturer.
Of course, yeah.
But you're not going to have that out of pocket that you would have had on the insurance side.
Yeah.
of things.
And in the one case, I'll tell people one specific example of this where I see both being valid.
Right.
Is this gentleman has experienced several rounds over the last 2 years. Several rounds of what he suspected was wind damage, but these storms that blew these shingles away were
not that big.
Very, I mean, they were pretty minimal in terms of severity. So and certainly didn't come anywhere close to the manufacturer's threshold for our wind warranty.
Okay.
So for that reason, that specific those rounds would be covered by a manufacturer's warranty claim.
Hey, Benny, hold on. I want Scotty to finish this because
He had
this is
an
important.
approximately 100-mile-an-hour windstorm roll through, which again does not meet
that wind threshold.
Right.
The manufacturer's wind warranty threshold, but he filed an insurance claim.
Right.
This is an area where we will act as an agent for him to essentially subrogate back to the manufacturer to get full coverage for his wind warranty claim and reimburse the insurance carrier for a claim that should have not been theirs in the first place.
Yeah,
that's trying to be as fair to all parties as possible while still restoring, indemnifying the client or helping restore the client to his pre-storm condition, but us knowing the ins and outs of where one should start and the next should stop, or vice versa.
And Benny, you may have to hang on through the break.
Yeah.
It's the edge of the coin. What's right is right.
Mm-hmm.
If the carrier owes money on this claim, that's fine. If the manufacturer owes money on this claim, that's fine. Okay? What we have to do is we have to put the two together. At the end of the day, the way we think this should work out is that the carrier will recover the value of the product that the manufacturer will provide, the labor that the manufacturer will pay for that replacement, and then whatever's left beyond just the roof and all of that, the carrier will still pay for. And the insured, our client, will actually end up recovering the out-of-pocket participation that he has. That should come from the manufacturer.
Right.
Okay, so everything offsets. The carrier is whole, the manufacturer pays what they're responsible for, and our client and the carrier's client, the insured, is going to end up with what he should have ended up with, but no one is paying more than what they should have paid. That's the edge of the coin, and I don't think there's anybody in this state that does that the way that we do it.
I haven't heard of anything like that.
Well, it's just a lot more time investment, you know. It's trying to be very detail oriented and objective, and it does take time to do that.
Okay. With that, we'll take our last break. Benny, do hang on. This has been very enlightening and
We hope so.
and informative.
We hope people are up to hear it.
And I hope you folks listening have been informed. From McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. We'll be back in a flash with Benny giving a shot at the trivia question. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live call-in show. And we'll get to Benny's call here in just a moment. We got to get through the obscure historical trivia first. On this date in August 8th of 1960, I remember this well, the Brian Hyland hit song Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini went number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And this was a milestone in my childhood because I lip synced this in the 2nd grade.
That's funny.
On this same date, of August 8th, 1969, the Beatles were photographed in the famous zebra crossing in front of the EMI studios, as they were called then, on Abbey Road for the cover of the Abbey Road album. Now the studios are called the Abbey Road Studios. And then on this date in 1974, President Richard Nixon announced that he would resign his office at noon the next day. Okay, so, Benny, let's get right to you and get that trivia question, shall we?
Well, yeah.
All right, so for the folks who have maybe tuned in since I last read the question, in what state was the most recent billion-dollar hailstorm? Minnesota, Illinois, or Colorado?
Well, this is going to be without having all the access that other folks have. I grabbed my dark glasses and my son's cane because this is a blind guess.
And your 8-ball?
I'm sorry?
And your magic 8-ball?
Illinois.
Wow.
Wow.
Dang,
Even a
dang,
blind
dang,
hog.
dang.
Even a
Dang,
blind
dang,
hog
dang.
finds
It's
Not
full
ding,
of
ding, ding,
acorn.
ding. Benny, how did you come to that conclusion?
Because there have been recent weather events in the upper Midwest.
Oh, God.
right.
and I
in fact,
just, it had to be either Minnesota or Illinois. And I thought,
He really is a pretty pretty smart fella, isn't he? Okay.
Yes,
So
he is.
Benny is absolutely correct. Illinois, and this is the conversation Scotty and I were having this morning. Rick made the comment he was surprised that Oklahoma wasn't even on my list of the top 4. That's
we've
not
been having
really
wildfires instead.
not really where that came from. But anyway, in July of 2026, okay, just a month or so
last
ago.
month,
Okay, recent. Chicagoland was pummeled.
Yeah.
Chicagoland was pummeled. 4 to 6 inch hail in huge parts of Chicagoland.
Wow.
Okay. Now, let me tell you, Scotty, you were asking what really impacts this. Think about concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's
Yeah.
Think
one
about
of the main things.
Think about concentration.
Well, severity of the storm, of course.
And think about value.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in Chicagoland, you're sitting there. The analytics companies have said that Chicagoland has the greatest concentration of property at risk for severe convective storms anywhere in the country.
Okay.
If you think about it, all right, it just is. It just is. That bullseye on the map,
Yeah.
and if it happens there, it's going to be massive. Now there was another billion-dollar storm also in Illinois back in March, Benny. Now the March storm, billion-dollar hailstorm, is estimated to be in the low single-digit billions, so that would be like between 1 and 5. The Chicagoland storm, only 2 or 3 weeks in, is already estimated to be a mid to high single-digit billion-dollar storm. So that would be 5 to 9 billion dollars. Okay, so
Yeah. Hey, I got 3 quick things too,
Yep.
if I may, before we run out of time. First, happy birthday tomorrow, Scotty.
Thank you, Benny. I appreciate that.
2, I was a young, early teenager when Polka Dot Bikini came out. And I remember
you and me
remember it
both.
well. Yeah, I'm a little further along in orbit than Mr. Lippert.
Yeah.
yeah.
And finally, this is to do with my Roof RX inspection a while back. I haven't received either an invoice or a report yet, and my insurance renewal is coming up.
Oh, no problem.
Next month.
That is that's great timing. You will not be receiving an invoice, but I will make a note right here to do.
He is making a note, Benny, just so you know.
I will put the finishing touches on your report and send it to you so you have it for your insurance carrier, Benny.
I do appreciate that. I know you're very busy with your expanded scope of responsibilities
I figure
opportunities.
There are people that need me, and then there are people that need me. So you get me when you need me, and that'll be fine. So
Yeah, and the thing we talked about over text a while back, I still don't know when we're going to get to do it. And sadly, I will miss your program next Saturday because I'll be down to my daughter's for a family event.
Well, that's
Well, that's a good reason to miss.
Reason to miss.
You're
it. So,
excused.
Anyway, all right, buddy.
So somebody else gets a chance to.
There
I
you
think
go.
a lot of people don't call in just so they can hear me get it wrong when I do.
Yeah, maybe so.
Uh-oh, you figured it out.
All right, we
Thank you
appreciate
for the time
Benny.
as always, fellas.
Thank
Be
you,
well.
Benny. Enjoy your
All right,
weekend.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Okay, so guys, as you were talking about all that insurance companies paying claims when
Yeah.
it was really a manufacturer's warranty claim, with the insurance companies, I'll say, seems like mission to always say no and deny claims. How is it that they are so easily fooled?
Well, there's ignorance is powerful. Ignorance is powerful, and a lot of adjusters don't know what they should and shouldn't pay for, or they don't do the investigation like they should. That's what takes most time. And I mean, they ended up paying for this over six-figure roof because they didn't spend the time to investigate the details about what shingle was on the home.
Okay.
What the manufacturer's wind warranty for that is, and the fact that it's a wind claim. I mean, they just assumed that everything was new and fresh, and they didn't ask any
Right.
questions about it.
Yeah.
But we know better, so that's why we have to protect all parties involved and make sure they each get what's fair out of this process.
And I don't want to throw all the adjusters under the bus. I don't think that really falls at the adjuster level. I think this speaks to the lack of knowledge.
Well, from the top down.
I think this speaks to the lack of knowledge about that specific roof. And this is the thing that with Amanda coming in from Berkeley One and talking about the degree of knowledge, the understanding of the roof asset, that particular roof, they don't look at individual roofs. They look at roofs in zip codes. They look at roofs in geographies. They look at it as a risk. They don't look at it as site-specific. They do not have site-specific information about the roof. They don't know who the manufacturer is. They don't know what the product is. They don't know who installed it, and therefore they don't understand any of the workmanship or manufacturing defect warranties that actually could prevent them from having to pay for things, I believe. Now, whether carriers want to go down that rabbit hole or not, I don't know. But to me, it is a huge miss in terms of shifting the responsibility where it really belongs. I think that if manufacturers' products fail, the manufacturer should pay the expense. I think if a contractor's products fail, workmanship fails, I think the contractor should pay the expense. I don't think the carrier should be subsidizing defective products or deficient installation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where they belong. That's not. This wasn't a warranty that you added on to your washing machine at Home Depot that if anything goes wrong, they're going to pay to replace it. That's not what you bought when you bought a homeowner's insurance policy or a commercial owner's policy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, I have to get this in before we do our after the storm, surviving the storm tip. S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. All right, we had some storm yesterday.
Well,
A little bit, yeah.
I'm not going to talk about storms. Here's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going
Okay.
to talk about the fact that Insurance News has just announced that homeowners' insurance rates in Oklahoma are going down by as much as 24%.
Really?
Here's the advice to everyone out there listening. If you have a policy renewing, you need to call your carrier before your policy comes up. Ask them if they are participating. Have they filed for that rate reduction for your homeowners' policies? If not, do they intend to file for it? And will you see that discount in your renewal policy? If not, the time is now to shop your coverage.
And then quickly, Dad's wisdom.
You can lead a horse named, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
You've been listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. We'll be back next week.
KQOB Enid, Oklahoma City, 2026. A celebration of freedom and the open road. Oklahoma's talk radio. The new Freedom 96.9.